All right. Shout out to every one of you. Good morning from Sweden. Time check is 8:53 in the morning. I am so much glad everyone that you are here, and I hope that you could share this stream to everyone. Share this stream, everyone. Shout out to Young Markelov. We have Young Markelov on the stream, and we have Jess Rockstick. We have MJ Culibra. We have JPA Parasports. All right. I think that we have to start so soon. All right. Ayun. So, shout out naman po sa ating lahat. Hello po, magandang umaga. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you today for the day's stream. And before we start, I would like to thank you guys for being here and staying with me to have a fellowship day and to listen to the word of God with me, to read with me. And this week's Parashah roundup is Emor. We have Emor. And Emor, this week we are going to talk about we are going to talk about the details of Leviticus, the God who pays attention to details, right? So that's kind of interesting, right? It's kind of interesting because we have a lot of differences, and we don't really know so much about the holidays in the Bible. Not every one of us knows about it. And let's look in the terms of the Bible, all right? Ay, nako naman. Thank you naman so much to you, Paulo. You are so very generous to us. Thank you so much, Paulo. Shout out to you, Paulo. Thank you so much, Paulo, sa iyong pa 25 pesos. You are very, very generous to Rochelle Rosenberg. Yan. Salamat naman sa iyong pa 25 chan. Dapat pala may ganun ako dadaan. Dadaan. Iuhulog. Hindi, joke lang. Joke lang naman. Ayan. So first naman daw, magkakaroon tayo ng songs, di ba? Importante yun. Ay, nangyari. Nangyari. Iba yung napindot ng computer. Akala ko nawala tuloy ako. Grabe. Ba yan? Okay. As your word is every day, I sing to you, and my heart cries holy, hallelujah, for you are me. My hope is in you, Lord, all the day long. I won't be shaken by the road of storm. Here's the crisis understanding, here's my song. And I sing, my hope is in you alone. Ayan. Okay, let's have again another song. This time of desperation, all I know is doubt and fear. There is only one foundation. We believe in this broken generation. All is dark, you help us see. There is only one salvation. We believe, we believe. We believe in God the Father. We believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in the Holy Spirit, and He's giving us new life. We believe in the crucifixion. We believe that He conquered death. We believe in the resurrection, and He's coming back again. We believe. So let our faith be more than anything, greater than the song we sing. And in our weakness and temptations, we believe, we believe. We believe in God the Father. We believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in the Holy Spirit, and He's given us new life. We believe in the crucifixion. We believe that He conquered death. shout out to you. All right. Shout out to Maria Marcel. It's a monetized channel. It's a friend of ours in the US. And we also have here Melda and Amra baby family. Yes. Shout out to you, Melda and Amra. It's been a long time, my friend. How are you doing? It's been a long time. I've not seen you. Thank you so much, Maria Marcel, while you're doing the dishes. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. So before we start, we're gonna give you a lesson. Sacrifice, pleasing to God, is a broken spirit. You not despise a humble heart. You will hold and heal it. Restore. Remember me, my Lord. Create in me a new heart after yours, after yours, after yours. Create in me a new heart after yours, after yours, after purify and I will be clean. Wash away all my shame. Oh, let me hear gladness and joy. Let my love sing your praise. Remember me, my Lord. Give me a new heart after yours, after yours, after yours. Create in me a new heart after yours, after yours. Oh, yes. By the way, guys, Melda and Amra family is a friend of mine. When I started in YouTube, he has been very supportive, even though he is a monetized channel and has a big subscribers. He's very humble. So I stick with that man, you know. I stick with that guy. He's good to be friend with. So if you are a friend with him, you will not regret, and very supportive. Melda and Amra, legit friend. I know him. All right. Shout out again to Happy Abby TV. Happy Abby TV. Pabulong-bulong lang ako ngayon para kalma-kalma tayong lahat. Ayan. So, we have a perfect topic for this week because Emor is coming to its roundup. And what's interesting with this is that um, Emor, this time of the month, matatapos na din ang ating Leviticus, I hope. I think we have 2 Sundays left and our, no, 3 Sundays, no, 3 Saturdays left, and our Leviticus travel will be coming to its end, and we are coming to Numbers for the next 3 weeks. So let's stay. Our weekly parasha is studying every chapter, and that is an everyday reading. All right. So I just want to introduce and welcome you guys to this live stream. Ayun. So, what do you think, guys? I have my roundup entrance, right? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So we're gonna start now. If you have been looking on my description box, you would be able to see what I have been writing. Um, so we're gonna start with the number one. It's not shrinking responsibility. Okay. So this week we have Emor. Okay. The topic for today is Emor, means speak. Because the beginning of the chapter it says is speak. Okay, Emor. Speak to the priest. Okay. God is speaking to the priest on what they have to do, what are the requirements to become um, a servant of God, and what are the rules, what are the regulations we have to follow step by step. And in this week parasha as well, we are gonna talk about the characteristics, the physical, how we should act, and what does it what does it mean to be a servant of God? Does it affect us even if when we marry or when we connect with other people, when we have friends, you know? Okay, so we're gonna start. Right. Let me see. Okay. Right. So not shirking responsibility. So what does that mean? All right. So God instructed Moses regarding the prohibition for a priest to render himself ritually defiled by touching a human corpse. The exceptions are his close relatives, his parents, siblings, children, and wife, and a corpse that no one else is available to bury. Okay, so what does this mean? I don't know if you remember the story about a priest in that was told in the New Testament about a priest who avoided a man lying on the ground. I don't know if you have heard that. It's in the New Testament. Let me see. It was in Luke 10. Um, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. And this man, there was a good Samaritan. Okay, so what does this connect to the priest? Okay, this means that there is a missing link to that priest in the Good Samaritan, okay? Because him being a priest, there is a responsibility that he should not despise people who do not have anyone, okay? So, the high priest obligation to ritually defile himself in order to bury an unattended corpse applies even in the unlikely event that such a situation presents itself while he is performing the sacrificial rites of Yom Kippur in the Holy of Holies. Yom Kippur is a holy and sacred um, feast of God. Okay, So if there is no one else who can bury this corpse, the high priest must leave the most sacred part of the tabernacle on the holiest day in order to do so. This teaches us, firstly, that taking care of our fellow persons and brothers crucial needs takes precedence over tending to our spiritual task. Secondly, we sometimes encounter people who may be considered, figuratively speaking, unattended, lifeless bodies, people who pay no attention to the spiritual side of life and who have no one else to guide them in this regard. In such cases, we must seize the opportunity to assist them, reminding ourselves that even the high priest is required to disregard his most exalted responsibilities on the holy day of Yom Kippur in order to bury an unattended corpse. We, in contrast, have both the obligation and privilege of not merely attending to a lifeless person, but of reviving him. What does this mean? This means that there was a law in Leviticus 21. If we open our Bible, it says that, and he shall not come upon any dead bodies, he shall not defile himself, okay, for his father or his mother, okay? So, um, this means that there is an obligation for us, even if we are told to be serving God. If there is a need if there is a need from other people that we have to attend, we have to leave even these important things in our life to give that time to our brethren, to our brother or a sister. So, for example, we know that in our times now, whenever there's a church or there's a pastor and we have a problem, and mostly we come close to our friends or we come close to our pastor and ask for help, but they always say they are busy because of the things that they are attending to the church. But the most thing is there must be a time for them, you know. They should put down, because the law requires that a priest must not shrink in its responsibility. So has the higher responsibility. It doesn't mean that a leader of the church or a priest or a pastor means that you should just be standing in the pulpit or you should just be teaching the word of God in the pulpit. It also means that we have to attend, okay? It means we have to attend the needs of others. And we have to, for example, if we have a friend who are in truly in need, okay, we shall not turn our back. If we are serving God, we shall not turn our back from them. And we have to tend the spiritual needs of others before ours. Okay. And secondly, it says here, we sometimes encounter people who may be considered, figuratively speaking, unattended, lifeless bodies. What does this mean? There are many people who pay no attention to the spiritual side of life, and there was no guidance in their life. They are lost in life and they have a lot of things to consider in life. And if we are a friend to them, if we are close to them, we have the chance and the opportunity to guide them and to lead them and tell them what is right. What is right, not because it is our opinion, but we gather it from the Word of God. Okay, so that is the meaning. Oh, excuse me, I have to charge. I saw my computer was almost gonna die. Okay, it's good. I remember that I did not charge it. It was on. All right, now we're gonna go to the next. Um, the next is um, gentle way to educate. Okay. And by the way, guys, remember that whenever you teach someone or help someone spiritually or guide someone, you always have to put aside your personal opinions, okay? You always have to consider that these kind of people that you guide, you must be sensitive to their life, to their past, whoever they are. You must be sensitive to their characters. If they are very vocal, if they are very rude, you don't have to act like them, at least. So, gentle way. How is it to be gentle? I think I have to learn this. Priests are not allowed to marry certain women. Various bodily blemishes disqualifies priests from officiating in the tabernacle. If priests become ritually defiled, they may not eat sacrificial meat or the portions of the harvest that the Jewish farmers are required to set aside for them. Okay, so how is it to do a gentle way to educate? Okay, God spoke to Moses saying, "Speak to Aaron." Okay, speak to Aaron. Okay, so that word in Leviticus 21:16, it says, "And the Lord speak, and the Lord spoke, oh no, speak to Aaron, saying, Any man among your offspring throughout their generation who has defect shall not come near to offer up his God's food. For any man who has a defect should not approach a blind man or a lame one, or one with a sunken nose, or with mismatching limbs, or man who has a broken leg or broken arm." Okay, so what does this mean? This means that God does not disregard if we have defect. He does not disregard. But there is a certain time in the tabernacle that whenever we serve Him, we must come. There must be a how you say, a requirement. Okay, so whenever you apply a job, there is always a requirement so that your boss will know that you will do your job. Okay, that you are not lacking of the things that he is asking for. So how shall we how shall we um, how shall we deal with this kind of imperfections and still serving God? So it says here there's a certain people in the Torah that requires to be very, very holy, strict diet, strict clothing, strict rules, strict living. Even the way they have to marry women, they have to be strict and they have to be a requirement. Why? Because the priest has a separated life. He has a sacred life. It has a leadership above measures that people should look up to and people should follow. Okay, so whatever the priest is doing, that will be an example to the community. Okay, so if a priest is marrying a woman, let's say, that do not have any discipline on herself, okay, that will not be a good reflection for him. It doesn't mean that he don't have to marry a woman who have had difficulties in life before. It was not the question, but the requirement was there should be a requirement of having a wife or having a partner in serving God. Okay, the Torah mainly uses two Hebrew words for speaking. The first is debur, reserved for hard speech. So debur is hard speech. That's the straightforward, accurately delivery of the message. And the second is amira, is soft speech. So if you remember Jesus, he have a hard speech and he have a soft speech. His hard speech was when he was talking to the Pharisees and the Sadducees, because they are the teachers of the law, and they are sitting in the positions of being leaders of the community. Okay, so he have the hard speech there. But whenever he comes to the people, to the ordinary community, he have the amira, the soft speech. So his soft speech, he delivers the message in order to ensure that it is indeed received and clearly understood, which therefore means that whenever Yeshua delivered the message, the people response is different. But whenever he have the hard speech to those who are already in the positions, that's the difference. When you have a hard speech to those who already have the knowledge, there will become a contradictions. You know why? Because the person you are trying to correct will not accept the correction because of the pride, because they think that they know everything. And that is why in the scriptures, even God has dibur. He have the hard speech whenever he notices that the children of Israel are going further away from their walk of life. He says, do not go away from that path. Do not go away from my word. He have a hard speech. And then his soft speech is, if you remember my word, there is a promise. That's what the scriptures is telling. So the tailor of the message is depending on the way you deliver it. There are circumstances that you must deliver a message dibur, in a dibur way, in a hard speech. And there are also circumstances you have to deliver it in a soft speech. Okay. So this part of the section of the Torah, or this scripture in Leviticus, um, contains law regarding the priest's duty to educate their children in the responsibilities of the priesthood, is couched exclusively in soft speech. It is only when God returns to the other laws concerning the priest that he have once again uses hard speech. Okay, so when it comes to our family, the priest must have a gentle speech to their children. There must be a gentle teaching. There must be a teaching where you have to show your children at a young age who is your God, and who is why do they have to to do what is required of them. uh, it, there are there are friends of mine who also are believers, and they say to me that no, they are just the small children. We have to allow them to choose what to believe. For me, as a mother, I have the responsibility to teach my children as young as they are, because while they are young, you still can give them a lot of possibilities so that they could walk in life uh, with awareness to what is right and to what is good, so they can balance, so they can balance while they are young. So they will know whenever I have the dibur, and they will know whenever I have the amira. So my dibur requires that whenever they did wrong, I have to have a hard speech, but whenever I have to teach them what is right, I have to have the amira. Okay. So um this teaches us that we must educate primarily with soft speech. In order to be effective, educators must relate fully to their students and tailor their style of delivery accordingly. So this means as well that if we are teachers, or if we are inspirational motivators, how do we deliver the message? There are many, many, many instructions in this world, in books, different literatures, different media sharing how to be a perfect educator. The Bible says one word, amira, soft speech. If you want to teach someone, you don't go on a high voice, you don't go in a pride, you don't go because you don't teach because you are overtaking them powerfully, but you will teach them in meekness and with soft speech. Why soft speech? Because when you are in a soft speech, in a soft tone, they will listen to you. Even if they don't listen to you, even if they are busy in their mind, there is something in that voice that later will bring them back to what you have spoken. Okay, so sometimes we will think that I've been teaching and teaching, but no one is listening. You just think so. They were not listening, but in fact, there are ears that were listening but were not attending at that moment. So it's very, very important for us to have that kind of mindset. So I know it's not important for everyone to listen so much in this weekly parasha, but I would rather suggest that if you are not so much into religion, there are very, very important things that you should learn within the spiritual realm. There are many much more. Um, to develop in our world, to develop in our life, and to develop within our doors, okay, within our children, right? So I want to encourage you, if you have friends who are interested in development spiritually, much welcome to come up here, okay? So God's imperative regarding how the priests educate their youth applies to us all. Whenever we see in someone a behavior or attitude that is in need of inspiration or correction, we are immediately cast by divine providence in the role of educator. In all such cases, we must remember God's instruction to make exclusive use of soft speech. I only want to say for the next that you don't speak soft speech to those who are doing wrong. Okay, whenever they are doing wrong, you have to be a little bit hard sometimes because they have to learn what are the wrong things they are doing. You know, it's very, very important. Okay, so we're gonna go to number 3. We have nurturing emotions to maturity. Okay, we are going to nurture the emotions. Okay. In psychology, we used to say that there are emotions that we have to disregard. They have negative impact. For example, anger has a negative impact sometimes, and there are also many like aggression are negative. Okay, negative within psychology. Even though I work in healthcare, there are things that I truly disagree. Okay, because I always look in the words of the Bible if those words they're saying are right. Because most of the teachings that have been into psychology comes actually from a man who have been involved in mental disorder. Okay, I think if you know a little bit of history about psychology, then you know the man I'm talking about. He himself, his methods that we are using now were the things that he have been teaching for a long time. I don't know if he tested them, but according to the teachings that I have read within healthcare, he have had several psychological disorders. Mm. So God told Moses, when an animal is born, it must remain in its mother's care for 7 days. For 7 days, it will be accepted as a sacrifice from the eighth day of its life onward. So God respects the emotions, the connection between a newborn to its parent. Okay, so this was just an example that when an animal is a newborn, it must remain in the side of its mother for 7 days. So imagine that the requirement of God in sacrificial animals must be a year blemish, a year, 1 year old, and that they should not have any blemishes at all. They should be perfect, perfect. So this means that the mi- the minimum requirement it should stay for 7 days. Otherwise, it must be 1 year. So the mystical meaning of this law is as follows: Mother signifies the intellect. Okay, the intellect, since the intellect gives birth to the emotions, when the intellect recognizes the virtues of something or someone, it gives birth to the emotions of love for it. When it recognizes the undesirability of harmfulness of something or someone, it gives birth to the emotion of hatred or fear for it, and so on. So what does that mean? It means that us as a mother, we have sometimes the reason, we are sometimes the reason of why our children are behaving the way they do. Because if my children were so small and I disregard them emotionally, if I don't have a closeness to them, I don't think they will be close to me, and I don't think they will listen to me now as they do then, you know. For when they were small, they look up to me. When they were small, they were listening to me. But what if the situation was I don't give them time? What if, as a mother, I just leave them whenever they want to play? I don't have the connection with them. I don't come close to them. I don't think that my children will grow with a connection with me now if I did that. You know, let's give an example. Um, when my daughter was born, I usually have her close to me always. Okay, whenever there are important meetings, I usually take her with me on a sling bag. No, not really a sling bag, but on a sling, and she's always with me. One day when I left her with her father, she was constantly screaming. Her father thought she had some stomach problem or maybe just worried. But the truth is, she was looking for me. When I came back, she was very quiet for no reason. She just become quiet. So what can this teach us? This teaches us that as a mother, we have a signification of intellect. Okay? Whatever we do with our children whenever they are small, it reflects whenever they grow tall, whenever they grow bigger, you know. So we have to recognize the virtue. Okay, we have to recognize the meaning of being a mother. um, I would like to give an example about social media. For example, I am managing a website and the YouTube and the Facebook. Most of the time, I have noticed on the internet that many parents are prioritizing their YouTube and disregarding the needs of their children. So, um, whenever they leave their, whenever they go on a YouTube or on a platform, they always um, they always disregard the basic need of the children. For example, I saw someone who have a child running around and says, I am hungry, mother, I am hungry. But the mother says, you just have to wait because I am doing this thing. And for me, I think that that is a little bit of irresponsibility, because you know yourself as an adult, as a mother, that you will do something on social media. So before that, at least you have to prepare your children to eat. Okay? You have to have at least a time for your children so they could eat. You know, you must have the time to at least give them their needs. So the animal signifies the emotion, since animals are driven by their instinctive emotions rather than by intellect. When an emotion is first born, it must be matured by the intellect. Okay? So this process takes place over the course of 7 days. It is a sevenfold process, one for each of the seven basic emotions. Only after the emotions have been matured are they fit to be an offering for God. worthy of becoming part of the cycle of human being dedicated to God's service. So that's very, very important to remember as a parent and as a mother. We must focus to the needs of our children. We shall not disregard them. Okay. So as a mother, we should nurture the emotions to maturity. We have to remember that we have the ability to change things. While the children are small, we have to teach them as much as we can. Okay. All right. So for the word that I'm going to tell you is that we as a mother signifies the intellect. Okay. We have to confirm the intellectual emotions, the intellectual and the emotions of a child. We have to spend time with our children. It's very important because how we build them reflects the future of your child, reflects how they would look at you and how they would respect you as a mother. If we are disrespectful parents, then I think there would be no reason. If we are disrespectful to the children, there would be no reason for them to respect us. Okay. So the next is maintaining proper focus. Maintaining proper focus. Okay. Cool, man. Happy Sabbath to you, Carlene and MG Colibra. Okay. So now, God then instructed Moses regarding the laws of the festivals of the Jewish year. The first festival is Passover, celebrated in the first month of the Jewish calendar, Nisan. Maintaining proper focus. Okay, so what is that? On the 15th day of month of Nisan begins the festival of Matzos. What does that mean? This means that God looks after the proper time. There is an on-time schedule. There must be a time management. You must have the schedule and you must follow that schedule. Okay? Whenever it comes to serving God, we have to follow that. Although throughout the Torah, this festival is usually referred to as the Festival of Matzos, in common usage, it is usually called Passover. Okay? The term Passover in the Torah always refers to the sacrifice associated with this holiday rather than to the holiday itself. Okay? Uh, God wishes to stress the greatness of the Jewish people, of the believers. Okay? He stresses, therefore, that we focus on the matzos. Who is our matzos? Who is our matzah? Who is our bread of life? Our bread of life is Yeshua. So, matzah, the bread of life, the bread recalls how the Jews left the Egypt in such haste that they did not have the time to let their dough rise, highlighting their implicit faith in God and their willingness to follow Him wherever He directed them to go. We, on the other hand, relate to the holiday as an opportunity to praise God and thank Him. We therefore refer to it as Passover, recalling God's great miracles, particularly when He passed over. The Jewish homes brought His blood only upon the Egyptians. How can we refer this to our life as Christians? Remember that when the Israelites left the Egypt, they were in haste. They were in a hurry. So it means that whenever we want to be saved, we have to we have to be quick. You have to be quick. It's just like this person in in the New Testament, the Ethiopian. You know, uh, he say that who will stop me? There's water here. Okay, so it must be the same with us. We should not wait too long for our salvation to come. We should not wait too long. Okay, so please remember that if you want to be saved, you must be in a hurry, because you don't know the time. You don't know the time when Yeshua is coming. Okay, so there must be a highlights. Look at here. It says that when the Jews left Egypt, they did not have the time to let the dough rise. It means that they did not have time for anything else. They did not have time even to uh, to cook, to bake. They just pick all the dough. This dough was even from the Egyptians. You see, they just took it, and then they went away. They packed all of the stuff that they need, all the basic things they need. Plus they were given the extra tools and the extra wealth that comes from the Egyptian. So this means as well that we have to disregard all of the things that we think are very, very important to us. We must tend to our needs, our spiritual needs as people. So it's very important as a servant of God to have that kind of discipline in managing our time. We have to manage our time. We have to manage we have to manage our time, and we have to have a time schedule. Okay, on spot time schedule. As for me, I always have a time schedule, because I always think it's very important to have a discipline in time, to have a discipline uh, in certain things. So if you want to have maturity, you must have those kind of attitude, a time management. You must have a dibur and an amira. A dibur is a hard speech, and an amira is a soft speech. To be a servant of God, you must have at least a dibur to correct others whenever they are wrong, and you must have a soft speech to educate them whenever they are wrong. Okay, so a soft speech turns out wrath. It says in Proverbs, a soft speech, a soft answer turns out wrath. Okay, so there's now the next is spiritual heights. Okay, spiritual heights. Okay, so the next is the spiritual heights of the Sabbath. What does it mean to celebrate Sabbath? Okay, and because this week is Emor, it means speak. God speaks the requirements for a priest to follow, the time management of the feasts, and the requirements on how they should teach people, the community, even their family. Okay, so it's becoming more strict. Passover is followed 7 weeks later by the following of Shavuot weeks, although the months of the Jewish year are numbered from Nisan. The years are counted as beginning on the first day of Tishrei, the seventh month. The first of Tishrei is thus Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the year. This holiday is marked by the sounding of the shofar, a ram's horn, except when it coincides with the Sabbath. So, spiritual heights of the Sabbath. Okay, God told Moses, the first day of the seventh month Tishrei will be a remembrance of the shofar blast. So we are arriving to the next feast that the shofar will be sounding, and the sounding of the shofar will be like this. Right, so that's how it sounds. At least now we know. Okay, all right. So let's get back to the topic. The sounding of the shofar on the first day of the year elicits new divine energy that will sustain all creation, spiritual and physical, for that year. However, when Rosh Hashanah coincides with the Sabbath, the shofar is not sounded. We only remember it by mentioning it in our prayer. This is because blowing the shofar on the Sabbath is not only superfluous but pointless. God's sovereignty over us is the primary theme of Rosh Hashanah. Sounding the shofar at God's coronation is our declaration of our renewed selfless and voluntary submission to His sovereignty. It means as well that whenever we sound the shofar on a Sabbath, we are disregarding His word. He says in His word that we should respect the Sabbath because it is His day, right? So if it contradicts with the other celebration, we should still respect that day, the Sabbath, right? The need, okay, so such self-awareness characterizes our consciousness on weekdays. On the Sabbath, in contrast, when we are inherently absorbed in our heightened divine consciousness, such as declaration is redundant. Okay, so we must have in, we must look on the importance of those things. So we have already talked about that a priest should not be shrinking responsibility, should not avoid the responsibility. And then there must be a gentle way to educate. We must be gentle in educating. We must have the hard speech and the soft speech. The hard speech doesn't mean that we have to become harsh on others, but the hard speech also means that we are correcting others, we are teaching them the best way that we can. And as a mother, if a servant of God who are married to a pastor or a priest, or as a leader, we must be knowing how to nurture emotions to maturity. This means as well that if we have children, we have to raise them in according to God's guidance. We must teach them how to believe in God and what is the benefit of believing in God. What are the good things to learn from whenever we nurture the emotions of a child? Remember that whenever we nurture the emotions, whenever we give the time with our children, it also reflects their future, their growing up, their perspective in life, the respect that they will give to you, and the respect they will give to others and to the community. You are building a new society. Okay? It's very, very important, guys, to remember that. Okay? So, right. Now we're gonna go back again to the topic. Um, and we have talked about maintaining proper focus, that whenever we have times to attend, we have to have the time management. We have to have at least schedules to look after too. We shall not be dislocating our times, and whenever we have the time for our God, we have to prioritize Him. Okay, we should set that day, we should set that time only to God alone. All right. Very, very important, guys. Right. So, and the spiritual heights of the Sabbath is to remember the Sabbath celebration, to remember what is the meaning of the Sabbath. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the rising above physical world. So, what does it mean to be rising above physical world? You can have a lot of words to share about it. But what I can say is this. Uh, First and foremost, the week beginning with the 15th of Tishrei is Sukkot, the huts, you know. There is a Sukkot because it reminds that we are commanded to dwell in temporary huts. We are also required on this holiday to hold together and wave four plant parts together: a citron, etrog, a palm stalk, a lulav, and a three myrtle branches, the hadassim, and two willow branches. So we have a citron, a palm, and a myrtle, and a willow. So those were the things we have to wave. Remember when Jesus came into the temple of Jerusalem, and they waved him the lulav, the palm stalk. There's also a significance to the highlight of that Sabbath. That's why they called Jesus the Lord of the Sabbath. Remember? I don't know if you remember that. Shout out topic, topic, and Bernadette Mamangon, Elio Channel, and Coleman, and Carlene. Ayan, nandito naman sila. Alright, let's see. So the sukkah or the booth, the feast, the sukkot, is unique among the Torah's commandments in that is the only one that we physically enter. The sukkah surrounds us on all sides. This property of the sukkah is physically manifestation of the divine energy that the sukkah embodies, the awareness that God exists apart from the world and beyond its limitations. We are taught that spiritually the sukkah derives from the cloud produced when the high priest would burn incense in the Holy of Holies of Yom Kippur, whereas the animal sacrifice is focused primarily on refining our human animal soul. The incense expressed the inner consciousness of our divine soul. Our divine soul operates on a higher plane. Okay? Mm. Whose intellect and emotions are focused solely on physical things. Thus, our task on the holiday of Sukkot is firstly to focus on God's unlimited divinity by building the sukkah, to internalize our awareness. Living inside the sukkah is as well very physical because it teaches us how to live beyond the limitations, how to stay temporarily in a place, to be separated from the other things outside. Okay, it's very important to stress to you guys that in life you have to remember that whenever you come close to God, there is a separation, a big separation between you and the world outside. In Romans, it says that do not be conformed into this world. Okay, do not be conformed. Let me find that. In the pattern of this world. Okay, there are things in 1 John 2:15. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So does this means that we cannot live a life anymore? No. It means that we still can live a life, but the difference is we must not focus on the material things of this world. Okay, we should not focus on the things that are uh, we should not focus on the things that we are always wanting, the lust of our eyes, the lust of our flesh. We should not focus on that. Okay, so once again, I shout out GPA still here, and Carlene, and welcome to you, Ryan Diobu's channel. I'll be coming back to you later about that, Ryan Diobu's channel. because right now we are having a fellowship time this Saturday. Okay, right. So this means that whenever we are building a sukkah or a booth, okay, a booth rising above the physical world, okay, the huts, the feast of the Sukkot means as well that a temporary life. We always have a temporary life, di ba? Meron tayong mga tirahan, minsan nagrereklamo tayo kasi sa sobrang maliit yon, sobrang napakasikip. But there is a good thing in living in that situation, because it separates you and it teaches you how to live according to your limitations. It teaches you to be thankful and thoughtful of others. The word says, remember, Colossians 3:2, set your mind on the things that are above, not on the things that are on earth. And so, in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of power of the air, the spirit that is now worked in the sons of disobedience. So it means that if we want to rise above the physical world, we have to think higher. We have to think in spirit, not in according to our emotions alone. We have to think, and by thinking, we have to read the Word of God. Ayun, di ba? So now we are on the last part of the last part. So by the way, guys, if you want to come up later for the last part, I would appreciate you. Okay. So the last part is this: finding the positive in the negative. How do we do these things? How is it possible to find the positive in the negative things? Is it possible to do that? Do you think do you think it's possible? So for me, it is possible to find the positive in the negative. We just have to look at the things that, not that they are done because there are reasons, because there were never a reason. There were never a reason that things should happen. That thought is mind consciousness within Buddhism. So that is not something that I have to think or we have to think for ourselves. What we have to think is that there was a purpose, because purpose is different from a reason. The reason means that the motivation from the beginning is that if a negative thing should happen, you deserve it. That's a reason. But if there's a purpose, it means that you have to, some things are not planned but happens for you to learn. Okay, or sometimes there are things that happens because of the evil things of others. Okay, so for example, let's say those who have been a victim of accident, is that a reason? Those who have been raped, is that a reason? Does that happen for a reason? No, it didn't happen for a reason, because we never wished that it would happen to us. We have never wished that those accidents would happen to us. So it was not made for a reason. It was there for some time. It was there because of the misdemeanors of others, or sometimes because the circumstances maybe of failures of the situation. Okay, meron kasi yung pagkakamali na, for example, na sagasaan dahil mayroong hindi nakakita, di ba? So there are different situations that we have to consider, and not say that things happens for a reason. Okay? So finding the positive, the Torah next recounts an incident that occurred a month after the tabernacle was erected in Egypt. The Jewish people carefully preserved the purity of their family life. The only woman who was violated by an Egyptian taskmaster was named Shelomit. Her son, fathered by Egyptian, attempted to come together with his mother, the tribe of Dan. He was refused on the grounds that tribal membership follows the father's tribal lineage, not the mother's. The case was taken on the court, who ruled against Shelomit's son, upon which he cursed God. Thus, this section of the Torah closes with God's infirmity. Okay? Where do we find about Shelomit? Shelomit is in Leviticus 24:11. Okay? Leviticus 24:11. Let's go there. Let me see. 24:11. Okay. Let's read. Now, the son of an Israelite woman, and he was the son of an woman, and he was the son of an Egyptian man who went out among the children of Israel, and they quarreled in the camp, this son of the Israelite woman and an Israelite man. And the son of the Israelite woman pronounced the name of God and cursed. So they brought him to Moses. His mother's name was Shelomit, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. So there are circumstances whenever people proclaim the name of God in a wrong way, cursing God. Okay, so whenever your mouth is full of cursing, and you are using the name of God in that, you should consider yourself to have a disciplined tongue. If you are a believer, you have to learn to tame your tongue. Okay, so let's go back. In truth, however, the Torah is actually praising her by mentioning her name in connection with this incident. She was singled out by the divine providence to be one of whom the exemplary character of the rest of Jewish women was demonstrated. Why? Um, she was not really publicly defamed. In fact, is one of the ways through which misdeeds can be transformed into merits by serving as the impetus for proper behavior. The negative example set by Shelomit inspired future generation of Jewish women to live up to the example set. So, for example, the way she did was wrong because she have a son and she want to quarrel, and they want to quarrel, and the son of this woman, her son, pronounced the name of God and cursed, but still the Bible writes her name, and her mother's his mother's name was Shelomit. She was she was still written and remembered in the scriptures because it is like a remembrance that there are certain characters that we should avoid, and there are certain characters that we should consider to change. Okay, so we have to remember that, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the roundup of the topic. You see, so the daily wisdom when it comes to this week, we're gonna go back again, is from the number one. We had um, not shirking responsibility. As a priest, we must not shrink in our responsibility. We know that sometimes you feel tired of your responsibility if you are a believer, and if you are a family person, I know that sometimes you are feeling tired, but I want to tell you that the responsibility is on your shoulder, and that is something you have to carry and be thankful, because you are the leader of your home. And as a mother, we have to be gentle. We have to be gentle to educate. Okay. Do we still have coffee? And the third is nurturing emotions to maturity. So as a parent, we should remember to nurture the emotions of our children. We have to maintain proper focus. So it means we have to have a time management. We have to have a time to consider um, that we have to manage our time. We have to focus on what's important. Remember, guys, that YouTube is still here. Whenever we die, YouTube's still here. Okay, so please prioritize your families, prioritize your children, prioritize your relationship with your partners. Do not disregard them because of YouTube. Okay. I want to encourage you guys to give an importance to your family. And then we have the spiritual heights of the Sabbath, to consider the a rest day of your time, just to have time with God, not with everything else that serves you, that suits you. Okay. For example, on a Sabbath, you should give that whole day by reading or by praying, or at least like this, to find someone else whom you can consider to have a fellowship with. If you are a couple and are believers, so you both can have that time. Just like me and my husband, he usually he reads together. We don't sit together, but we read together the Parshah. And then we have the finding the positive in the negative. So always remember that all the things that happens to us is not for a reason, but was there for us to learn. There's a purpose why we have to go through on some things that we cannot avoid. And most of the things are blessings in disguise. All right. So, Lou Mackenzie storyline. Ay, ito matagal ko na siyang nakita. Dikitan niyo po ito. Kumusta ka na? Okay naman po ako, Ate Lou Mackenzie. Kayo po, ate, kumusta na po kayo? Si Lou Mackenzie is located in Thailand. So, si Versace, ano ba yun? Versace ang pangalan ng channel ng asawa niya. Okay, so now we're gonna go. We are now on the end part, guys. I just want to tell you guys, if you want to promote your channel before this stream ends later, I want you to have the time, because you have been staying here. And guys, I have something to show you here. Let me see. This one. So at the end of the month, we will pick a random winner. Maybe you will win, guys. When the stream ends, please leave a comment on the comment section about the stream with the hashtag Rochelle Rosenberg. Okay. Every end of the month, whenever you join me on my live stream, you should always leave a comment when the stream ends. Kapag natatapos ang live stream, lagi kayong mag-iwan ng comment, kasi nagra-random ako ng winners. At ang kinukuha ko, 2 or 3. Okay? At ay mga nananalo ay binibigyan ko ng load. Kung galing ng Philippines, binibigyan ko ng load. So for example, most of my winners or most of the viewers are Philippines and international. So please join the hashtag Rochelle Rosenberg, okay? And tell me what you have learned. Tell me what are the important things that you have that I have contributed while you were staying on the live stream. Okay? Right. So now we're gonna, I'm just gonna show you guys some pause. Let's just have some pause for a minute. We'll just pause for a minute. Ayun. So, that's a wonderful pause. I was thinking it's important for me to take a pause in between because of my throat. I don't want to suffer my throat so much. Okay. So, alright, guys, I'm gonna share you the link down below. To join us and promote your channels. Let me see. I don't know why my live chat is not working so well. Okay. Only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. Only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for Jesus? Will you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Only imagine. And I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I will do is forever worship you. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in all of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? To the knees will I fall? Will I sing guys, are you ready to come up now? If you want, just do so. Let me share a link to our community to come up in the panel if they'd like to. Let me see. You can promote your channels. All right. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. All right. So we're just gonna promote the channels of our friends. Okay. Okay, sige. Cooking banana cue ka pa pala. Sige lang. Okay lang. No problems. No problems, sabi ko. So by the way, guys, if you are interested for channel arts and thumbnails, I would like to present you the channel arts that I that I have done recently. You can buy them if you'd like, according to your own taste. So these are the channels who have this kind of channel arts that I have right now. Ayun na naman, mayroon na namang pa-super chat si JPA para sports. Salamat talaga ng marami sa'yo, JPA, ha? Maraming salamat sa'yo. Akyat na kung sino man ang gustong umakyat dyan. So we are promoting these channels, guys, who have hired me to do their channel arts. So they are the one who hired me for their channel arts. All right. So, di ba maganda? Ayan. Okay. So, nakita nyo na naman ang aking mukha. Ang aking mukha. So, if you wanna come up, guys, so please come up now. Please press the link below. Okay. So guys, I would like to share you the YouTube channel of JPA Parasports. Thank you so much JPA Parasports for your super chat. Dalawang beses siyang nag-super chat. Isang ganyan at saka ito. Ayun. Ay, shout out nga pala, nandito ba yun? Meron ba akong na-miss? Ay, si Maria Marcel yun pala. Okay. Yan. Let me see. JPA Parasports. Okay, guys. Connect, guys, to JPA Parasports. This is his channel. Right? Okay. So, maghahanap tayo ng magandang video niya. Very short video. So, this is JPA Parasports. Nyo, kaya nyo ba yan? Can you do that? One hand, partida, oh. Partida. Isa pa. Ba't ganun? Ang bilis naman nun. Partida naman. Pag ganun, oy. Ang bilis. Teka, balik. Partida eh. Sige, ay Ryan Jobus Channel. Thank you so much ha na nandito ka, Ryan Jobus Channel. Pwede bang be? Kung gusto mo be, ayaw mo mag-promote ng channel mo be? Ryan Jobus Channel. Grabe yung kamay ni dyan, no? Oh, bilis-bilis eh. Kakainis eh. Ba't kanyang kabilis yan, J. Paulo? Block daw. Oh. Look at him, babe. Look at this guy. Look at him. He's a friend of mine. Look. Can you do this, ha? Can you do that? Oh, can you? Cannot do that. Only him.
That's what
One hand. I cannot do that. Now let's go to connect, guys, to Lou Mackenzie. They are very supportive. When I started my YouTube channel, they have been promoting me many times, and they have been playing all my videos. By the way, guys, once again, if you want to have a channel art, I would like to share you this, guys. Okay. Let me see. So these are the channel art, guys, that I have been doing. And these are the channels that have hired me as well to make their channel art. So watch out, guys. Watch out. And if you are interested, you can just message me. I do thumbnails. I do cover channel arts for Facebook and YouTube at a reasonable price. Okay. So I have also done something for Jam Sam Rasta. If you are interested, Josephine Tokyo Life, mega shout out, Josephine Tokyo Life, shoo-hoo, 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 shoo-hoo. Ayan. So, Josephine Gimoro and Melvin Blue TV are one of the big channels that I have done this. And one artist, I have Jamsam Rasta. If you know Jamsam Rasta, guys, he was known in Rafi Tulfo in Action. So he has been in Rafi Tulfo in Action. And we have Young Markelov. Okay. All right. So let's get back to the business. So this is Paulo Para Sports, and we have Lou Mackenzie. Let me see. We're gonna go to Lou Mackenzie. Lou Mackenzie storyline. Okay. This is Lou Mackenzie storyline, guys. Located in Thailand. Let's see. Her channel is filled with food. So if you want to be hungry, go to their channel. They have a lot of food. Oh my goodness. Nangangat yung ilong ko. My ilong is very, very itchy. My ilong. Okay, let's maybe try this one. This one, I've never seen this before. Oh no, let me see. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. That's not nice. That's not nice. I shouldn't show the, masyado mo ginalingan ate. Nahihiya ako. Anong ginalingan ko, JPA? Ay, ganun. Let me see. Remove it first. And we refresh. Ayaw na mag-play tuloy. Grabe na to, oy. Ayaw na mag-play. Natakot sa akin yung video ni Ate Lou Mackenzie. Ayaw akong pakainin. Bakit ganon? Yan. Sunod na credit card ko. Hoy, ano nangyari sa'yo, JPA? Bakit may... JPA, bakit tatlo naman na Ala, grabe si JPA. Mami Jo, grabe si Paulo. Oh, ala, grabe siya. Oh, nagbigay na siya ng 25, nagbigay ng 24, tapos 50. Ala, JPA ha, wag kang ganyan. Megi shout out. Anak, love, love, love. Sabi niya ni Mami Josephine. Uy, Paulo ha, wag kang ganyan ha. Baka mamaya, sunog na yung credit card mo ha. Huwag kang ganon. Grabe siya. Pero thank you talaga ha sa sa sharing ninyo, Mami Jo. Oh, kain-kain naman daw pag may time. Ayan. Wala ka, Mami Jo, wag kang ganyan. Ay, si Paulo pala yun, yung wag ganon. Si Paulo pala yun. O, buti pa sila, pag grill-grill na lang ng isda. Wow, sarap. Anong meron doon sa isda? Ano yun? Ay, sibuyas. Shishamu daw. Shishamu. Ay, shishamu. Papuntahan din natin si Josephine Gemoro. Josephine Gemoro na inaka-live siya. Ay, hindi ko siya naka-live pala. Guys, meron palang si Josephine Gimoro, meron po siyang live. Puntahan po ninyo siya ha, sa live niya. Meron siyang live ngayon, 11 o'clock po. Within 30 minutes pa naman, kaya hindi pa ako ma-stress. Ayan, si Josephine Gimoro po guys. Puntahan po ninyo siya sa live niya guys. Kung gusto po ninyo, meron din siyang fellowship live stream. Oo nga. Uy, Paulo, pag member ka na, hindi naman lagi na lang na na palitan. Nakakahiya naman, Paulo. Oh, Paulo talaga, magpapalipad. Palipad ng palipad. Ano ba 'yan? Yung sino mga gustong umakyat diyan? Kahit saglit. Sabi ni ay ano 'yun? Ano yung ginawa ko? Delete ko nga yung comment ko. Sabi ko daw. Ano ba 'yan? Ayan, may link dyan ha. Kung gusto nyo umakyat. Kung gusto nyo umakyat ha. Kung gusto nyo lang naman. Kung ayaw nyo, edi wag. Edi wag. Tingin nga tayo ng maliliit na video ni Mami Jo. Papahirapan pa tayo nito. Nagsawa na ako dun sa intro niya. Mami Jo, palitan mo naman yung intro mo. Lagi na lang iisang intro. Ano ba yan? Old school na yung intro eh. Ito pala. Ito guys.
This is my channel, Josephine Emor. Wala. Chup chup. Ayan. Alright guys, nandito ako guys para sabihin sa inyo na naka-34 na ang aking join members.
Lagi na lang, Mami, tuwing pupunta ako sa channel mo, yun na lang yung intro na nakikita ko. Ano ba yan?
I want to let you know na meron
bago-bago din pag may time, Mami. Halu-haluan mo nung mga mo, yung mga cherry blossom mo, mga ganon. Oh, yung mga gusto daw mag-member dyan, Konnichiwa Angels. Pag Konnichiwa Babies kayo, bibigyan kayo ni Mami Josephine ng dede. Yung bata. Yung dede pambata. Bibigyan niya kayo ng depulbos na gatas. Depulbos na gatas. Di ba, Mami Jo? Sunog na daw credit card ni JPA. Bumubulong si Mami Josephine dyan, no? Kaya kung gusto nyo makinig, guys, ganito. Ganun nyo yung tenga nyo para marinig nyo. Kasi pag hindi nyo marinig, mahirap na. May panyo din ako. Gaya-gaya na ako kay Sabi niya. Padede niya. Sabi ni Mami Jo. Sabi ni Paolo. Sabado ngayon natin siya bawal okray. Sabi ni Mami kasi, may babies, Konnichiwa Babies, Angels, tsaka King and Queens. Yung mga idea na ganyan, no? Parang may pinaghuhugutan. Pag baby ka, kailangan mo ng gatas, kaya depulbos yung gatas, bibigay sa'yo sa bote. Kung gusto mo garapon, bahala ka dyan. Garapon, tas i-shake mo ng ganun yung garapon. Tapos pag angels ka na, bibigyan ka na ng puro manok, yung para may pakpak.
Ina-add ko dito yung watch hour.
Watch hour daw, yung mga ano dyan. Inaakit kayo sa watch hour, oh. Yung mahilig sa watch hour.
Ay, buksan.
Hmm.
Pwede ikaw lang ang play.
Oh, ikaw lang daw ang ipe-play kapag member ka daw, pag angel ka. Kaya lipat-lipat din lipat-lipat din pag may time.
Membership.
Oh, di ba?
Talagang yung pinakamura lang ang ko para
Mura lang daw yung pinili niya kasi para afford nyo daw, para afford natin. Oh, yung nasa Pilipinas lang daw, ibig sabihin hindi ako kasali.
So, yung affordable para sa kanila is
Mami Jo, tama ba yon? Pang Pilipinas lang, no? Mami Jo, ibig sabihin hindi kami kasali doon, no? Mami Jo. Aasar talaga kay Mami Jo, eh, no? Hindi na, babawiin niya na yung super chat niya. Sabi niya, lang yung bata to, pabigay-bigay ako ng super chat, tapos ganito lang yung gagawin niya.
Maganda din ulit para mas nai-improve ko ang dapat kong gawin para sa inyo. So,
nai-improve niya daw.
That's all I can say. And
Nag-English na si Mami Jo. Kanina Tagalog na Tagalog.
thank you. Bye-bye. Konnichiwa, babies. Konnichiwa, angels. And konnichiwa, king and queen. See you.
Ang lambing ni Mami, no? Ang lambing ni Mami dun, no? Ay, muah. May ganun-ganun siya nalalaman, ano? Galing, eh. Sana, oh. Patugtog muna tayo, ha? May mga patugtugin tayo, eh. Patugtog na.
Kahit walang lamang tayo, magdama na kinakausap, inuumaga dahil sa'yo. Sa mga litang mo ako'y tumitingin, nag-iisip kung ikaw ba'y
Magiging akin.
Alam mo, lagi kong sasabitin, kasama ka palagi sa'king dalangin. Sayaw at nagtitinginan, natutunaw sa'yo ngiti. Maaari ba ako na lang bagong
Oh, sabi ni Mami, para makatulong na rin pag konnichiwa king and queen, merong watch hour, lalo na pag need nila. Pinakamahirap kasi watch hour. Ikaw bakit hindi pa nagpapamember? Saway ganun. Ayun na naman tayo, Mami. Sabi mo kasi sa video mo, Mami, mga nasa Pilipinas lang. Kaya hindi ako kasali doon, di ba?